Hello, good morning, everyone. How you doing? Good morning, world. Good morning, Nigeria. How are you all doing? Welcome to the Up You with Azine show, your female-centric program. Another edition of it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you all doing? I hope you're feeling really well and being inspired by our series on disruption. I hope you're good. It's good to see all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, are you juggling two careers? And are you feeling overwhelmed by it? You're not alone. There are several of us in that category. Navigating a dual career can be challenging, but with the right mindset and strategies, it's possible to find success and fulfillment in both. Today, we're delving into balancing two worlds, navigating dual career. It's the Up You show, it's the Up You are, and I'm here to keep you company as usual. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name, as always, is Ezine Kufrekanem. The topic today is Beyond the Screen, Navigating a Dual Career. But first, let me ask, what is a dual career? A dual career refers to the situation where an individual pursues two careers simultaneously. This typically involves balancing two professional paths, such as having a full-time job or career alongside or pursuing a passion, starting a business, or engaging in another professional endeavor. It can be challenging to manage both careers effectively, but with proper planning, prioritization, and support, individuals can find success and fulfillment in both areas. Our guest today is one of such persons who is pursuing many careers, wearing many hats if you like, and succeeding at them all. So we thought, why not? We should invite her to share her strategies with us, share her journeys with us, because this economy is no longer smiling. And multiple careers and streams of income is always the way forward. It is the way forward for every single one of us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please, everyone, settle in nicely. Be kind to follow us on all our social media platform at OP with Azine on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'd love to connect with you and keep the conversation going long after this live episode has ended. And please like the stream. It's one way you help our ministry so we can continue to serve you better. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. The topic today is, for those just joining us, the topic is Beyond the Screen, Navigating a Dual Career. May I remind you that all episodes of Up You with Ezine are on our YouTube and podcast channels. At Up You with Ezine, be sure to follow us and make sure you don't miss a thing. We'd like for you to participate and contribute your thoughts and opinions to the conversation, so stay with us as I bring up our guest today. She's already in the studio, ready to do justice to the topic. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Up You with Ezine show. The topic today is Beyond the Screen, Navigating a Dual Career. It is time to bring up our guest. Da, da, da. Our guest today is Anuli Ajagu, also known as Reverend Anuli, a Nigerian Canadian woman of faith who has overcome extreme emotional trauma. She's the executive producer of Praise Party, an award-winning Nollywood film, which is currently showing in 43 cinemas across Nigeria. Anuli is the founder of several high-impact initiatives, including Youth and Gender Network, Women Mentoring Women, Divine Heritage Gospel Ministry, amongst others. Anuli is an award-winning author of fiction and prose. She has over 300 published articles in the media. Professionally, she's a training consultant, HR professional, and board director. She earned the prestigious Institute of Corporate Directors Canada designation ICD.D. She's also a recipient of the Toronto Black History Month Awards, as well as an honorary doctor of Christian literature. She holds a bachelor's degree in theater arts, master's degree in mass communication, postgraduate diploma in journalism, graduate certificate in human resources management, and is currently a second-year doctoral student in Royal Roads University, Canada, with her research focus as Black entrepreneurship. She's a joyful mother of 3 adult children and a woman that absolutely loves and honors God. Everyone, world over, please join me in welcoming Reverend Anuli Ajagu to the show this morning. Good
Thank
morning,
you.
Anuli. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good morning, Izine, and thank you for having me.
You look amazing.
Thank you. And you too.
Thank you. And as I was reading your profile, I'm like, how does she even juggle all of this? You know the way it is. You only know one part, yeah, and then you now find another, and then you find another and another. Anyway, all right. You're gonna tell us, right?
Mhm. Thank you.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, this is Up You with Azine Show, and today we're discussing Beyond the Screen, Navigating a Dual Career. Angoli, are you ready? Because we are ready here.
I am ready. Thank you for having me, and good morning all over the world.
Great, great, great. Okay, first, congratulations on the premiere of Praise Party. It was a
Thank you.
successful event. How does that make you feel?
I feel amazing. I am grateful to God because this is a dream of over 30 years finally becoming reality.
Over 30 years, you've nurtured this. Oh my God. So make that congratulations times 30. One for every year that you've been incubating this.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I read the stuff in the papers, I saw the pictures, so I knew everything was like top notch, A list, well done.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
but so now tell us why filmmaking? You were already doing great in consulting and HR and every other thing and in the NGO space. Why did you go into filmmaking?
Well, thank you for asking. First of all, I give God thanks for the opportunity to be able to fulfill a dream. I've had this dream for over 30 years. I'm a thespian. My first degree is in theater arts. And I remember that right out of university, I graduated in 1991. And about a year later, just after my NYSC, I actually produced a live theater, that is, this live stage show. It was a play that I wrote. It was a ticketed event. I got people together. I was very visionary from quite a young age, and I invited multiple personalities, including the CEO then, that's a GM of Plateau Radio, TV, and that's Mr. Leo Kayan. I hear he's late now, but he was a special guest, and it was amazing. They literally gave us a standing ovation at that event. I actually got offered by Plateau Radio Television, that is the GM, to come up with 13 episodes of, stories with an inspiring angle and moral thrust. And I began to write the scripts. But life happened in Nigeria. There was the June 12th, 1993 crisis. And my dad wanted the whole family back in Lagos because my dad is a retired military man. He retired as a colonel in the Nigerian army. My mom at a point got tired of moving up and down with him. So after he was commandant in Jos, the command secondary school Jos, she stayed back. And so we lived there. And because I'd schooled in Jos, he worked for me. So anyway, we had to move back to Lagos to join my dad. And that was how that vision got terminated. And then I got into acting. I acted on a major TV soap opera, Fortunes. So I
I
was
remember
Gloria.
that. I remember that. And I'm sure I am, dear viewers, do you remember her on Fortunes? If you do, please put a comment for us. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you. So I was Gloria. I was Ramsey Noah's girlfriend on that TV show,
Mhm.
and acted for over a year, and just all in expression of my artistic, I would say, slant. And then I got married in 1995, and I gave up the industry. So I gave it up. But 2017, life happened. I had a major family crisis. And in 2021, I lost my only sister to cancer. That was a very unfortunate situation. It broke my heart, plus the emotional trauma that I went through in 2017. And I said to myself, you know what? Pick up your dreams. Let all that you have been through inspire you, motivate you to pick up lost and dead dreams and make it come back. And that is exactly what I did. I picked up my broken pieces and I decided, you know what? You have dreams, you have things you've nurtured in you for years. And I thank God that I took the bold step, despite the fact that all the conditions were not perfect, but I took the bold step. Last year, I came to Nigeria, spent a month, and we did the principal photography, the shoot, and then we've been in post-production for many months. And here we are today. We are now in the cinemas. Yeah.
Whoa. I'm busy scribbling so that I do not forget anything that you said. One thing that jumped at me was when you said picked up a dead and forgotten dream. You know, what you just shared with us is proof that dreams do not die, they just stay there. So it's we now that need to go back at some point, at any point that we are ready and pick it up. And being ready doesn't mean that all circumstances around you are good. It's just you being ready. Then you make the best of what you have found in terms of circumstances. But before I just run away, I didn't want to forget that I am sorry about your sister. May her soul
Thank
rest in peace.
you, Amen.
It is amazing how these disruptions come and, introduce ourselves to us all over again and then show us what is important, because it got you thinking. I don't have all the time on earth to do the things I want to do. So I better run with my dreams right now. And you picked up a dream that you benched in the 90s and brought it to bear now in year 2023. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move away a bit now. Are we? No, we're not. Can you share your journey of balancing, this new career you're starting in filmmaking and your roles in consulting and human resources? Was there an interplay? Did the fact that you have been in HR help you in picking your actors and stuff? Is there a synergy? Was there a flow, or how was it? Let me not put words in your mouth.
Yeah, I think you're using the right words actually. So yes,
Mm.
there was energy, there was a natural flow. I would say I've been in HR for many years, even informally, without even realizing there was real structure to it. It was when I actually came to Canada that I had to get some formal training in human resources management because
Mhm.
Canadian it's
If you can hear me, we've lost sound. We can't hear you anymore, Anuli. Everyone, please stay on the live. Let's figure out what has happened. Oh my goodness. Okay. Just please stay on.
my HR skills to bear, hiring people, recruiting volunteers.
Sorry to
It's
interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you. Anuli, we lost you from the beginning. Could you please just
oh,
recap?
okay.
When you were talking, but we couldn't hear anything. Could you just go right back to the beginning of your answer? What we
Oh,
heard was it was when I got to Canada that I got formal training.
okay. Yes. So I said
Yeah.
that as far back as 2004,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is about 19 years ago, I was involved in human resources management, even informally, without realizing that there was formal structure to it per se.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Canada and I wanted to get into the HR space, and I had to get professional training for
Mm-hmm.
that. Became a member of the Human Resources Professional Association after writing multiple exams and getting the designation. But I founded a nonprofit in Nigeria in 2004 called Youth and Gender Network. And I had to get a board together. I had to recruit staff. I had to get volunteers, because NGOs work mostly with volunteers. I had to basically put a structure in place about how to manage our human resources. I had to do a lot of training. We organized conferences, building capacity of people. And so, and also just knowing how to motivate people, how to reward those who work, with us, whether those rewards are financial or whether they're material, but just knowing how to inspire, motivate people, because human resources is all about working with people and understanding how to manage those relationships, which can actually be complex sometimes. So yes, when it became time for me to shoot a film, to become a producer and also executive producer, because I wear multiple hats on my project, um, I had to. It was natural for me, I would say, to harness the team that I had to bring on board. I had to visualize what I had in mind. I did a lot of research, which is something that I like to do. I inquire, I ask questions, I go to my contacts, those who I know may have some information about what I want to do. So I actually spent about a year asking questions, reaching out to my contacts, who I know are involved in Nollywood, because I wanted to start with Nollywood. This is my base. Yeah. So I did my research, made a lot of inquiries, asked questions, went online as well to do more research, and I was able to take the bold step, getting a team together. I was able to get the director on board. The director is actually somebody who had volunteered in my NGO years ago. He's a graduate of LASU, and he had stayed connected. He now lives in Los Angeles, and he has also been involved in filmmaking. He has produced a film that is a short film, and he won an award, the Cannes Film Festival. Um, so I thought, okay, who will be the right fit for the director role? I'd reach out to other people as well, but eventually he was the person that came on board for this. So I also had to get other people on board. And eventually, yes, we went and we did our principal photography, the shoots. And I can tell you that the day cameras rolled, it was like heaven came down. I was like, whoa, is this real? That
I
was
can
one,
imagine.
that was
I
one
can
of the
imagine.
happiest days of my life. Yes.
I can imagine because we can feel the joy, oozing out of you as you're speaking, and it's palpable. I can
Yeah.
actually touch it if it's possible to touch joy. Yeah, it must have been. I can imagine the energy as well. It's
Yeah.
it's actually something of a miracle, for lack of a better word, when you bet something from your imagination, something that you imagined. You now go through all the processes, the cycles, and finally, bam, the thing is in front of you and it's happening. I can
Yeah.
imagine. Congratulations.
Thank
Now, you're running all of this from Canada. Oh God. You're from Canada, you have reached into the Nigerian market, into Nollywood to better second career. And there are some of us here in Nigeria right now who have this same dream that you have, who want to do the same thing that you're doing, but we're not seeing what you're seeing. The news out there is a terrible economy. Nothing is working. Everything is what woman, where are you getting your courage from?
I hear you. I hear you. I tell you, when I took this bold step, the circumstances were not right. There are some things that I cannot say on this show now, but I'll be happy to speak offline. But
Yeah.
when I say life happened in 2017, I had a major crisis that almost ruined my life. I am that woman who could have ended up in a psychiatric confinement. I could have ended up jumping over, jumping into the lagoon, jumping off a bridge, taking an overdose of medication to just get out of this world. So I was crushed. I was devastated. And this was before my sister's passing, by the way. So I was in a pit. But you know what? I thank God for God. And I thank God for my faith. and I fought the good fight of faith. Even though I was depressed and miserable for many years, I can tell you, I didn't even realize I was depressed. It wasn't until a few years later, I'm looking back, I'm like, you were very depressed. Yes. But I had to speak to myself and say, listen, it's not over. You are not done with your purpose on earth. And no human being on earth should define your purpose. God created you, He deposited within you a lot. Pick up yourself. I had to speak to myself. One of the themes of my film is the importance of a community. And I thank God for a community, my friends, my family. It is so important because when life happens and when you find yourself in a very tight spot and in a deep pit, and it looks like all hell has let loose on you, those relationships you have built through the years will make a world of difference. So I had to just stay connected to loved ones. And I also had to get professional help, counseling. I did a lot of research. I'm a reader. I, read multiple books. I attended courses to just kind of help me understand. I remember one day I was so angry. And I'll tell you, I was crying to God and I had, go get help. And so I did a Google search to find an organization that does anger management. I found one and I paid about $500. And I went, it was a Sunday morning. I didn't go to church. I just sat down listening to this professional. And it was very therapeutic. And after that, she told me she also does one-on-one, counseling and therapy. I was working with a bank then, so I had access to our group benefits, which meant that I could get counseling for free. And so I spent several hours with her just listening to a professional. Onboarding. Oh my goodness. Onboarding is very, very important because some people just keep everything inside. You can literally explode. Your heart can literally explode if you don't vent and if you don't have the opportunity to just unburden. So that's one of the themes of my film, Praise Party, just being able to get help, professional help. And sometimes people of faith, people who believe in God, think, you know what, it's all about prayer. Prayer is important. I'm a woman of prayer. But listen, God put professionals there to help us. When you are sick and you need to go to the hospital, you meet a doctor. If you need surgery, you have professionals who do that. You understand? And you want to go to school, you have teachers who are trained to teach you. So that's the same way with therapy. The people who have gone to school to study psychology and all forms of mental health studies and professionals that we can actually leverage their experience and knowledge. So yeah, I did that. So back to your question. How do I juggle it all? And I will say that God has been my strength. I also realize that we need to take courage. Circumstances may not be right. And I decided a few years ago, rather than always complaining, the economy is bad, things are hard, things are difficult. You think about it, but there are still people, even if it's just a remnant, who are making a difference, who are moving forward. One of the things I do is to read, attend seminars, ask questions. You find somebody who is doing well, ask them, how are you doing it? You learn, humility is very important. Nobody has it all. I don't have it all. You don't have it all. We have something, but there's definitely something we don't know. So we can reach out to others and ask questions and then put our thoughts together and take it to God in prayer and ask Him for what is the strategy? What are the next steps? And that's what I did. And here we are. I did not have it all together. I tell you, I started out with a budget of 5 million naira. That was what I had in terms of, a budget. I had $10,000. I said that was the seed money for my film. But when I began to unveil the plan, and my goal was I want a film that can stream on Netflix. That's the standard, the minimum standard I want. It was ambitious, quite all right. It changed the dynamics totally because we had to research what does Netflix, for example, require? What kind of cameras? What kind of actors? What kind of production? the quality of production, and that changed everything. From $10,000, I have a movie of over $100,000 that I have put, that is currently streaming in the cinemas. Yeah. If I tell you the details of how it happened, we will be here for the rest of the day. So I'll just keep it at that. But I think.
Oh my God. I mean, just Anuli, thank you. You have, even if you say nothing else, you have delivered on this show. And I hope that everybody on this live and those who come later on will pick the nuggets that you've shared. Just watching my face would you see different kinds of emotions that you arouse, going flighting, I've been a fleeting on my face. I went from whoa to wow to laughter to joy. So thank you for sharing of yourself like that.
Thank you.
The truth is, um, you're right. We see what we want to see, and if we're seekers, we will actually find answers. The thing here is we go with the bandwagon. So the press says, so the people are saying, so we begin to say without doing our own research. So that is a very key nugget you pointed out there. If you want to do something, if you want to amount to something in life, strike out. Find information for yourself. Then spread the information that you've received from various sources, from the naysayers, from the yeasayers, from yourself as well. Put it all before you and then make a decision. You can now go to your father if you're a person of faith like Anuli is, and then make a decision on which way you will go. It is not their way or nothing. There is also your way. You yourself today on this call or watching later can become a remnant and also do something because she's right. Some people are progressing in this country. So how are they doing it? I haven't seen a person in all my life who has two heads. So is this still one head? So we will find out how you're doing it. I will put our head there. I will also do it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I want to talk about praise party. But I really don't want to spoil it for those who are yet to watch it. So I don't know how we're going to do this. I want to talk about Praise Party. And I mean, it started from 5 million naira and we hit, no, you see, I want to talk about it. It's important for me. What I took from what you shared is that you knew what you wanted. You actually started with the end in mind. So you knew, I just don't want to make a film. I do not just want to enter Nollywood. I want to make a film that can be streamed on Netflix. That was the goal from Jump Street. And so you had to do what? Do some research. So what cameras will Netflix accept? So what kind of actors will Netflix accept? What kind of storyline? A lot of us will not do this. And then we'll now sit down and say, oh, now them. It always favors them. They know how they're doing it. Up until today, I didn't even know there was a certain camera quality that you have to use or certain criteria of actors that you have to have. So you've just given out a very, very vital information out there, just in case there's anybody here who is trying to break into Nollywood as their second or even first career. These are the kind of questions that you'll be asking. And you know one thing about life? It's garbage in, garbage out. If you ask the wrong questions, you get the wrong answers. So you must be sure that you're asking the right questions. Okay, so now, praise party. Praise party is not regular by any standard. It's not a regular body of work. The central team of emotional abuse, trauma, is something we don't want to talk about in this climb. You see, these climbs, we are all about keep it together, keep it into yourself. Don't let anybody know that you're going through A or B or C, and we're all imploding. And then when we wake up and we see someone about to jump into the lagoon, we say, but she looks together. But they have money. But they are driving. I mean, she even had to park her SUV to attempt a jump. But we fail to understand that we are the same people because we are judgmental, because we are not embracing, because we do not encourage people to seek professional help. If you hear that someone saw a psychiatric, you say, Yaba left. Person is mad. If somebody says, look, I'm being emotionally abused in my relationship, you say, are you the first? If I your mother, it happened to her. If I even me that you're complaining to, it's happening to me. I'm just managing it to go to church, pray, stay in your closet. So I'm very happy that now you're striding both worlds. You're in the marketplace and you're in the spiritual world. Why did you come up with this? Why has it become necessary for us to know that we can? I remember, sorry, I'm rambling. I'm going on because this is even a personal touch point for me. I remember when my husband had a stroke and everything, and I was dealing with it. I remember I was on a show and the person asked me something. How did you cope? And I said, we thank God. Is the grace of God. And she says, Ezine, come off it. Don't do this thing. Tell people what you did so that they can do what they too can get on with their lives. And I started saying, oh, I had this therapist, I had that therapist, or I had to sit with this person, I had to talk about this, I had to do this. And when I got off the show, people were like, you did all that? I said, yes, because I needed my head to be on my head and I wanted my heart to be in my chest. You see, because when you're going through stuff, it's so easy to take count and bear grudges and maybe even go to the point of becoming, what's that word? Where you think people owe you stuff?
Okay.
Entitled. Becoming entitled, you now feel like, oh, I did AA for this person when this person was, now it's my turn, and if you don't want all that to becloud what you are about and what you hope to achieve, then you've got to go to people that have spent their time learning how to help so they can help you. So watching your film, I was like, oh God, I wish this thing can go viral because everybody needs to see that the help that you need is just right there, but you're not seeing it. So let me not run away with my story, Anuli. Why did you, how long did it take you to come up with this? It's an intense body of work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Whoa. I'm a creative person. I think big. I also think creatively. As I speak with you, I have many stories that I'm already thinking about what next.
Wow.
So, and it also comes from reading widely, being involved in the community, serving people. I've volunteered in multiple areas. I run an NGO. I am a minister of the gospel. So I am about people. I work in the HR space. I understand what it is to listen. I have learned to listen. Listening is a big skill.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot to say, but sometimes all we need to do is just shut up and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have to observe very keenly and intently. I know that the subject of mental health is like a pariah subject, not just in Nigeria, but even in the West. So in Canada, for example, a lot of people are struggling, and it's global. The economy can impact people. Personal problems, challenges of life can impact people. I remember during the COVID crisis, because I was teaching HR courses very actively then in a college, which is a post-secondary institution. And when COVID happened, the college migrated 100% online. We had to pivot. It wasn't in my class, but one of the students in the college actually committed suicide. Stress, when people go through change and sometimes life-threatening situations, it could be financial. I've heard about people who committed suicide because they couldn't pay their rent. During the 2008 financial crisis globally, a billionaire in Germany jumped out of a moving train. So that's to tell you that anything can trigger it. It could be problems, which could be financial. It could be emotional, a marital breakup, emotional breakdown. It could be the loss of a loved one, bereavement. It could be dealing with a sick family member and just seeing them struggle and you being involved and you being terrified by what's going on. It could be so many things, and it could even be loneliness. that is something that people definitely suffer in the West. Like, Nigeria, you can see your neighbor and say, hello, how are you? And you just start a conversation. People are checking on each other. But I find that in a country like Canada, for example, if you're not intentional about keeping relationships, you'll be isolated. So that's one of the things. When new immigrants come, a lot of them struggle with depression because they suddenly find themselves in a country where perhaps the city where they live can get extremely cold in the winter. And we have a lot of that in Canada. We're one of the coldest countries of the world when it comes to our weather.
Yeah.
-30 in some, cities. -40. Yeah, that's how it gets freezing cold. Where if you leave a bottle of water in your car, you wake up, it's frozen.
And it's frozen.
It's frozen. Yeah. So imagine how depressing it can be during winter. So anyway, I thought about a subject that would be relevant, something that can something that people can identify with and people can actually benefit. So for a movie, the entertainment value is very important, and we brought that to play in Praise Party. But for me also, I want to be able to bring value to lives. I want to add value. I want to inspire hope. I want people to be able to say, wow, I watched that movie and I left there thinking. You understand? So I wanted a story that was relatable. And I also went through my own emotional trauma. So the storyline wasn't my story per se. I mean, in terms of the characters are not me, but there were some connections in terms of the pain and the trauma of emotional distress. So that's how we decided to come up with that kind of storyline. And I think it's very topical, very relevant, not just in Nigeria, but across the world. And in fact, I'm happy to tell you that the film has generated a lot of interest. We were shortlisted, and then we actually were selected for the Canada China International Film Festival, and we eventually won an award. I won Best Producer at their closing gala in August of this year, even ahead of our premiere. We also won Best International Film at the Charlotte Black Film Festival, North Carolina. Currently, we are an official selection to the Brazil International Film Festival. In Nigeria, we won Best Inspirational Film at the Real Time Film Festival, which held in the UK for the first time this year. So I had a friend who went to represent me there. We are currently an official selection to the Enugu International Film Festival, to the Benin City International Film Festival, multiple film festivals, and we have been recognized and we are still being recognized. So it's an exciting journey, and that tells you the power of the storyline. So it cuts across, not just Black people, not just Nigerians, but I think it's a topic that cuts across various cultures. Thank you.
And this is where we say up you, up you, up you, and up you. Yeah, we're really very proud of you. And then also, this is where I say to everyone, you better go watch this film. It will change a lot of things for you. It will change your life for some people. It will change your perspective on why you should reach out for help. And then it will also ignite hope in you. Because I can tell you for free, everything ended up in praise for every character that was struggling in that film. And when I put myself in it, I said, okay, if it ended in praise there, it's gonna also end in praise in my life. So I think we should all go and see this as a Christmas gift to all of us. Everyone on this stream, please tell everybody, oh wow, it's getting interesting. Someone is writing, I love Mrs. Anuli's courage and positive mindset. She's filled with grit. Anuli, you see, you're throwing the punches. Okay, that's good. All right. So now I was going to say to you, but you actually answered it. I was going to ask when you were talking that because you had suffered some kind of emotional trauma yourself, did you write for yourself? Or you already answered that by saying some parts of the film mirror some things, about you, but it's not necessarily you. So I'm going to now ask you, did you get a feeling of catharsis? Did you exhale by the time you finished this production? Did you go ahead, take it from me, take the baton.
Absolutely. I tell you, I did. I exhaled. I was like, whoa. Actually,
like you were reborn, right?
I actually gave myself a thumbs up. I'm like, you know what? I
That's the,
respect.
that's what we're talking about. You see, Agaman lizard. When you go up, go down, go everywhere, and then you fall down, bam, you look left, look right. You don't care whether anybody's validating you. You just say to yourself, I am Anuli, up me, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, this is really, really infectious. Really infectious. Okay, so let's not give them any more of the film so that they can go and watch it because you need to make your box back. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me, how do you maintain a work-life balance? You know, navigating your dual careers because in fact your career is not even just dual. Let's even just change it from dual to multiple careers because I know that I belong to your network of women empowering women,
Mentoring women. Yeah.
mentoring women. So
Yeah.
because I call it WMW, I never call the full name. So I know I belong to that network, and I see that you, I can't even keep up. You interact, you bring all the encouragement, you do everything for women. You have the you have the grants that you're giving for people to start their businesses. That's one part. Then there is the one that you're the NGO proper, where you're doing all the seminars and all the trainings in Lagos. You fly in all the time from Canada, you come to Lagos to do all that. And at the same time, you're keeping your full-time job in Canada, and then you are also a doctoral student. You were not satisfied with the one they honorarily gave you. You have to read it. Oh my goodness. I love the way you raise the bar. Honestly, I love the way you raise the bar. So how do you now then maintain work-life balance? Because I haven't seen you looking unfresh. I haven't seen you looking harassed. You seem to just have everything together.
Well, I give it all to God, 100%, honestly.
There she goes
And
again. Oh my
then
God,
I
100%.
also, one of the things that I discovered is sometimes you need to put something on hold for another. So, as a consultant and as a contractor, which is what I did with a project in the last 1.5 years, I was a part of a major project in Canada, part of a change management team. That contract ended on the last day of August of this year. So, from September 1st, I said to myself, I am not looking for another contract until December because one, I had my candidacy exam in September. So, like you said, I have multiple things I'm doing. There was a time, I think around July, my head was almost catching because I was like, how am I going to cope? There's so much. So I decided, you know what? You need to let some things you need to let go of some things at a point and then focus strategically for what is most important per time. I had to do that. So, so I didn't bother looking for another contract from September because I knew I had to focus and get my candidacy exam done. The candidacy exam is what you do to become a doctoral candidate. So first year I was done with coursework. Second year is getting ready for my candidacy exam, which includes an extensive written report and then an oral exam before my committee and the university representative as well. And of course, my supervisor. And so I did that successfully the second to last day of September. I thank God. And then I knew I had a film that would be going to the cinemas. And I said, for the next 6 weeks, I am dedicating time to Nigeria. And that's why I'm here. There's no way on earth I can juggle that. Otherwise, something will give way for the other. I had to actually say to myself, this is a time when you have to focus very intensely. So that's what I'm doing. Then this couple of weeks, 6 weeks, here to promote my film, plan the premiere. Thank God it was very successful. Now I'm going around creating awareness about my movie because we're trying to get people in groups to go and watch it, schools. I'm glad, I'm excited, and we're actually making a lot of progress, granting interviews, talking with the press, monitoring my team, connecting with multiple stakeholders, working with my distributor, working with my team members across the country to create awareness and all that. It's a lot. It is a lot. It's a business on its own that involves a lot of brain work, a lot of human resource management, a lot of resources as well. When you're wearing multiple caps, it is a lot. So what I would say is prioritize. Know what you need to focus on per time. There are times that your schedule will permit you being able to focus on multiple things at the same time, but sometimes you need to have what you call a laser focus, and that's where I am right now. Right now, it's all about praise party.
Interesting. I like the word you've used, prioritize at time. So even though you have multiple things, even though you're streaming dual careers and all of that, you need to prioritize. You need to know what to focus on at time. And then I like that part, the one you said, there has to be a time that you have to have laser focus. I think you just narrow it and put your eyes like a flint on it and say, no moving from here until we deliver this one. Intense, but it has to be done. So that means that right now you're operating like an eagle. You're flying above everything else. But you see, for you to prioritize, you must have a community. You must have some kind of support system that you have put in, that will hold everything together, even if you're not physically or mentally or even emotionally involved in some other aspects of your life at time. So, how have you managed to build for yourself a primary community, a support group that looks out for you and every other thing that you do?
Yeah, thank you. Nobody can effectively manage the kind of, I would say, project that I'm managing right now alone. No, it's impossible. Even before I flew down to dedicate those 6 weeks in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for my film, I was already working with a team remotely. That's one of the things that I would say one of the offshoots of COVID. Even though COVID happened and it was terrible, but we all learned how to
It
cope
better
up.
some good things too. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I have a team. I have people that are actually on payroll with me. So I have a couple of employees or contractors. They're like contract employees. I pay them because I also realize everything cannot be volunteer work. There are people that you need to hold accountable for certain
Yeah.
deliverables. I do
Mm-hmm.
have that. And I have people who have been working with me remotely for over 2 years, 3 years, and that. So managing those teams, that's very important. Managing relationships. One of the things I've realized about life is the importance of networks. So a lot of people think about networking in terms of, oh, what can I get? Let me connect so that they can give me a job. They can give me contract so that they can. No. Stephen Covey, the guy who wrote 7 Habits of Highly
Habits of highly effective people.
he talked about the emotional bank account and the fact that we need to make deposits into that emotional bank account. That's what I've done for the past almost 50 years of my life, as far as I know. I'm 52 now. So I would say from my entire adult life, I've kept relationships. Sometimes you don't even know when those relationships will be relevant. But it's just because I'm a people person. I love people. Human beings are God's greatest treasure. Well, it was Bishop Oyedepo that said human beings are God's greatest gift. They can also become a great source of pain. And that's the truth. So it's a mix. If you say, well, because I've had a bad experience, I will not relate with people, then you'll be missing out. It's
Oh,
part of
yes,
the truth.
because the next person might just be the gold you're looking for.
Exactly. So I've grown in my relationship with people. I run an NGO, so I know a number of people that I have helped. I told you the director of the film he used to be a volunteer. He's somebody who I supported in paying his school fees. Yes, I say it with courage, but today he's standing independently. And here he is adding value as a director of my film. So building those relationships through the years, and it's not overnight. It's not overnight. It's through the years. People will eventually, one way or the other, become a source of blessing to you. So don't just think about what you can do to grab and take or, no, what can I do to make a difference? How can I touch lives? How can I make a difference? And those same people can become people that today can be a huge source of blessing to you. When I did my film premiere, I didn't advertise on social media. It was just WhatsApp. Apart from WhatsApp, I have a few groups that I belong. I posted, and then one-on-one, 80% of the people who bought my premiere tickets were just people personally. I just said this, that, and they jumped on. People who supported the premiere, and I had less than a month to plan that premiere. I tell you, But God showed me that, listen, the people you have, they are the greatest advantage. And that's what has happened for me. I have a network of friends, I have family. Family is also very critical. Yeah. That I've kept building positive relationships with. And when the time for my movie came, and now it's still ongoing, I can tell you that it has been a real, real blessing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuli. Everybody says your network is your net worth. Some of these things, they come up as cliches and then we don't really think deeply about them. There's also another one that says, givers never lack, and sometimes when I start to like, I will now say, am I no longer a giver? But you see, the fact is, you drive this point home. You must continually invest in a system, in a network of humans, because it's always very amazing who shows up. It may not be the people you think will, but somehow people always show up. So if you're on this stream, if you're listening to this program, make yourself a person of value. Make yourself someone who invests in others. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to give them money. You could give them your time. Anuli said earlier that listening is a big skill. I will add that is a big deal because most times we don't listen to people. We listen to answer them. We don't really listen to hear what they are not saying. We need to learn to listen to hear what is said and also what is not said. If that is all you do, trust me, you're saving a lot of people. And so, second point I'm taking away from here is first is prioritize your time, and prioritize all the things you do, prioritize, what needs to come first, and make sure that you're working in seasons of your own life, so that you don't juggle everything together. Lily said here that she used to think that doing many things will make you not productive, but now she knows that you can have several careers and be successful at all of them. And the only way that can happen, like Anuli has told us, is if you prioritize. Luckily for Anuli, she's in a climb where you can decide, I don't want to renew my contract. I don't want to go ahead with this. And one other thing is, we are big on amassing things and we're not big on living. I mean, you will even find someone who can actually also do what you're doing and say, I want to take some time off to go and do something else and attend to a passion or another aspect of my life. But they will say, no, we die here. We work until we die because we need the money. For me personally, I am reprioritizing my life to find time to live, because it's important to me now to live. I have proven that I can work. So I need to leave. So I'm going to be creating time. I don't know how much time. I don't know if I can do 6 weeks, but that's something I'm going to do starting about like the last month of this year. Take time off to live, to breathe in and out, because it's a living human being that can go ahead to do many functional, multiple jobs. Yeah. Okay. So that's for Lily on the stream. Yeah. Okay. So Anuli, thank you very, very much. Now, my next question to you will be, are there specific transferable skills that you believe someone who wants to do multiple careers should have?
Yes, I would say absolutely. You
Mm-hmm.
need soft skills, and that is something that a lot of people ignore. Your attitude, your attitude. Yes, that is very important. The way you relate with people,
Mm.
that is very key. I wanted to pivot because there are different HR spaces in the world, and I wanted to pivot into change management in Canada, and it had been a struggle before then. And then I just realized there's somebody I know who's actually doing this. I reached out. I said, "Can you train me?" And he said, "Sure." I was able to get the organization where I was working part time to actually sponsor the training he did, and it cost $1,800. I had told him, if they don't sponsor, I will pay you to train me. And it happened. I sat down for several weeks, learned and gleaned from his experience because he's been doing it for over 15 years. So I learned, I listened, I asked questions. And I'm telling you, within less than 4 months of that experience, I got a massive contract that has helped me massively with this vision that I'm currently undergoing. I'm telling you. So, training and retraining is very important. Being a part of a professional network is very important. Your professional friends, your professional networks, those who you know who are making impact in one field or the other, find a way to connect. I pay very heavily. I may not have much in terms of jewelry that I've stored up in my wardrobe, but I know I have invested in myself, learning.
Ooh.
Last year alone, about 2 years ago, I got admitted to do the director's education program, and then it took about 8 months, and last year was the graduation. I spent $20,000 self-funded to do that course. Not because, oh, I don't have anything to do with money, or not because I have so much. No, but because I know the value of investing in my knowledge. So what I would say is training, retraining, reading, learning, connecting, believing, questioning yourself when you know these are my weaknesses, doing self-audit, because you have to say, look, where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? Identify your strengths and keep building on them. For your weaknesses, find ways to get help. I'm telling you, there was a time I was doing a project and I had an assignment. I had to call a colleague. I said, you do very well at this. Can I pay you a couple of hours? Just take me on a 2-hour. And I paid. I paid for it. I don't like taking people for granted. A lot of people think everything is free. Sorry, it cannot. It's their time. And I knew when I offered that I will pay for your time, then the person can commit that time and focus and do it. I've done that. The time I was trying to get into a doctoral program in Canada, I had made attempts in the past and it wasn't working. Then I knew a guy who's a professor who I know, you understand, is very well learned and all that. I told him, and he's a family member. I told him, I'll pay you $1,000. Be my coach. Because I knew I needed his attention. And that happened. That's within a year, I got into a doctoral program. So what I'm saying is, somebody knows something you don't know. Your ignorance can be the reason why you're limited. And one of the things I will recommend for anybody is keep improving yourself. Like the Japanese, they are committed to continuous improvement. Also commit yourself to continuous improvement. Thank you.
I don't even want to ask you any other thing. I just want to be ending on this note. Your ignorance may be the reason why you are limited. I mean, when you were talking, I just kept saying, this thing boils down to self-love. How much do you love yourself? How much do you love the things you say you want to be? There is this thing that says, nobody can stop you except yourself. So, woman, man, on this stream, stop stopping yourself. You see, Anuli has just said it all. You've got to train, you've got to retrain, you've got to learn, you've got to find the right coaches, the right mentors, and I stress right. It is not every coach that is your coach, and it's not every mentor that is your mentor. You need to be sure that the persons that you are trying to engage have what you need. And it is not a one person fits all. So Anuli cannot be my spiritual coach and be my financial coach and be my mental coach and be my wellness coach. It doesn't work like that. So be specific. And when you go for something with a coach, if the coach is not delivering, run. If the coach is delivering, stay. But pay for it and then get knowledge. Because like Anuli said, you can't know everything, and somebody knows something you don't know, and that thing you don't know may just be what you require to get on the next level get the next job, get on the next doctoral program, immigrate to Canada legally, come back into Nigeria and be flexing legally. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. All right. Anuli, this has been very interesting to do with you.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to allow you to go without leaving us with some kind of nugget that we can all use and challenge ourselves as we wind down 2023, so that when we go into 2024, we will not sit down and join the cool and gang of rumblers, murmurers, whiners, and not going anywhere fast. We're just sitting down there like lame dogs, as if we don't have the God power in us, and as if there is no hope and no future. Please leave us with something. If you like, you can give it to us from your spiritual angle, which of course I know encompasses everything you do from head to toe, or you can give it to us professionally as well.
Thank you very much. And I must say, I've had a lot of fun doing this with you. Up you. um, it was Miles Monroe who said that the cemetery is filled with people that have buried, not just that are buried, not just those people buried, but their dreams that are buried, songs that were never sung, books that were never written, businesses that were never birthed. I want to tell everybody and encourage everybody, what is it that God has called you to do? What vision, what purpose? Why are you here? What is that business, that dream that you have that you want to actually accomplish? What talent do you have? Don't go to the grave with it. Die, die empty. Start where you are. Start small and grow big. And trust in God, have faith, and I'm sure it will all work out.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. I'm even clapping, you know. Come on now. Anuli, thank you so much. Thank you. I will also take that to heart and I will run with it. And 6 months from today, 1 year from today, we will show you our scorecards and then we will see how we're doing. And we're going to keep looking out for you because you are a light and you're never going to be hid. So now that we know you, we're going to be looking out for you. I'm sure everybody on this live as well, because you have gingered a lot of us today. So thank you for coming on this show. So, dear woman, we're in disruption season. As you can see, it is disruption season. A time for you to say to yourself, hey, I can't keep doing same old, same old. I am made for more. I should be more, and I can be more, and I will be more. You know, I'm sure you've gotten plenty strategies today for balancing two worlds, navigating a dual career. It's important to prioritize your time and set clear boundaries. Very important. Clearly define your goals for each career and allocate time accordingly. Establish a schedule and stick to it. Stick to it. If the earth is not quaking, stick to it. You know, that way you stay organized and focused. It is time for us to think, to learn, and to act differently. One thing going for Anoli, as you can see, is that she's a continuous learner. She hasn't stopped learning. She keeps learning. She keeps chasing down her dreams and she keeps getting knowledge. The Bible says that my people perish because they lack what? Knowledge. And so it means that on the entrance of knowledge into a person, light comes, and then you get understanding, and then you can know what you're supposed to do, and then do it accordingly. Disrupting yourself allows for personal and professional growth and paves way for positive changes. That's all I can say to you. If you want to see positive change, then disrupt yourself. Take up your pen and your paper and then write down your name and say, this is who I am, this is how I've lived, this is where I want to go to, and then fill that gap between where you are and where you want to go to with knowledge. And then when you have the knowledge, act, and a new you will emerge and new circumstances will come. Okay? All right. Thank you for coming. This is where we wrap up today's edition of Up You with Ezine. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Up You with Ezine. Get copies of our books, When adversity strikes, fight. And of course, up you. And then please look out for Reverend Anuli's books and publications as well. She has quite a lot of them, over 300. And get to read and then feed your mind. Big up to everyone that is involved in creating this magic every week, starting with you, our dear listeners and followers, our guests, the amazing Up You team. You all stay strong, stay blessed, stay lifted. Remember, it's all about you, finding self, finding purpose. My name is Ezine Kukurekanem. Until I see you next week is Up You. Bye, everyone.
Bye.